research aim? This research aims to conduct a thorough needs analysis to determine the specific requirements of students in an undergraduate communication study program in Indonesia. By identifying these needs, the research will be able to develop effective and relevant English materials that can enhance the students' language proficiency and communication skills. The research will collect data through surveys, interviews, and focus group discussions with students and instructors. The findings of this research will not only contribute to the development of English materials for the undergraduate communication study program. Still, they can also be used as a guide for developing similar materials for other study programs in Indonesia. 2. The research significant. English has become a global language. In Indonesia, English has been taught as a foreign language for decades, and it has been included in many study programs, including the Communication Study Program. However, students often encounter difficulties in using English effectively, particularly in communication. This is where English materials development comes into play. By identifying the specific needs of the learners and developing materials that cater to those needs, students can improve their communication skills and achieve their academic and professional goals. 3. What was the author's reason for choosing this topic title? The author's reason for choosing this topic title was to conduct a need analysis for English materials development for an undergraduate communication study program in the Indonesian context and to determine the specific needs of Indonesian undergraduate students in terms of English language learning, particularly in the field of communication studies. By conducting a thorough needs analysis, the author hopes to identify areas where current materials may be lacking and develop new materials that better meet the needs of Indonesian students. This study could ultimately contribute to the improvement of English language education in Indonesia and enhance the communication skills of undergraduate students in the country. For whose theory is used? The theory used in the journal is not explicitly mentioned in the title. However, based on the title, it can be inferred that the journal focuses on the development of English materials for a specific undergraduate communication study program in Indonesia. The theory used in the journal is likely related to language acquisition, language teaching methodologies, and/or curriculum development. The author may have also conducted a needs analysis to determine the specific language needs of the students in the program. Further reading of the journal will provide more information on the specific theory used and its application in the context of English language teaching and learning in Indonesia. 5. What the researcher designed. The researcher designed a convergent mixed method study to conduct a need analysis for developing English materials for an undergraduate communication study program in Indonesia. This means that the researcher collected and analyzed both quantitative and qualitative data and integrated them to answer the research questions. The data sources included document analysis, lecturer and alumna interviews, and student surveys. The researcher used various instruments and techniques to collect and analyze the data, such as questionnaires, interview guides, content analysis, descriptive statistics, and thematic analysis. 6. What the data of the article of the research. The data of the article of the research of English materials development for an undergraduate communication study program, a need analysis in Indonesian context are: document analysis. The researchers analyzed the syllabus and learning materials of the English for academic communication course using a framework of document analysis. Lecturer and alumna interviews. The researchers conducted semi-structured interviews with the course lecturer and an alumna who graduated from the communication study program. Student surveys. The researchers distributed online surveys to the students who had completed or were taking the course. They asked questions related to the learner's demographic information, English proficiency, target needs, the learner's necessities, lacks, and wants, and learning needs. 7. How the process collecting data and analyzing data. The process of collecting and analyzing data for developing English materials for an undergraduate communication study program is described in the following steps. The researchers conducted a mixed-method study using document analysis, semi-structured interviews, and surveys to gather data from various sources, such as the course syllabus, the course lecturer, an alumna, and the students. The data from the document analysis and the interviews were analyzed thematically using content analysis and coding techniques, while the data from the surveys were analyzed both quantitatively and qualitatively using SPSS and descriptive statistics. The results of the data analysis were used to identify the students' necessities, lacks, wants, and learning needs for developing English materials that are relevant, authentic, meaningful, and effective for the communication study program. 8. What the main finding in the article. The main findings of the article are: the students of the Communication Study Program, CSP, at the University Yogyakarta in Indonesia have learning needs that focus on improving their English proficiency, especially in speaking and grammar, for their future careers. The students also have target needs that include necessities, lacks, and wants. The necessities are the text types and focuses that are relevant to their field of study, such as advertisements, reports, narrative and argumentative texts, mass media, journalism, and mass communication. The lacks are the skills that they need to improve, such as speaking and grammar. The wants are the preferences that they have for the learning materials, such as using a blended learning method and accommodating visual, audio, and kinesthetic learning styles. Based on the findings, the article suggests some implications for developing effective English materials for the CSP students, such as aligning the materials with the students' needs, integrating the 4 language skills, incorporating the 21st century skills, and evaluating the materials regularly. 9. Based on the article that you choose, what researcher that you plan to do. If I were a researcher in the field of English for specific purposes, ESP, I would be interested in researching the following topic: the impact of blended learning on ESP students' motivation, engagement, and achievement. I would like to investigate how using a combination of online and face-to-face instruction can enhance the learning outcomes and experiences of ESP students in different contexts and disciplines.